Hello guys and welcome to this new Let's Build. Just before we begin, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about something. I want to talk to you guys about inspiration. Inspiration, I think, is a very powerful, I suppose, emotion. And something that can drive people on to do their very best. Something of which I think has been represented through both me and Joker creating this channel, as we were inspired by other YouTubers and felt that is something we both thoroughly enjoy to do, and it'd be a project we'd absolutely be honoured to be a part of. Something which we've produced, and we are creating an incredibly strong and powerful traditionally curious community. But now I want your guys' help to build this community. I feel when you're watching these videos, if you enjoy it, just remember to like and subscribe, because that lights the fire to more inspiration. The fact that when we get more subscribers in, we get buzzed, we get really happy just when that number goes up by 1, because that allows us, that makes us know people are enjoying our content and pushes us on to excel ourselves and make more and make it better, which for this reason is why I'm going to try and create Let's Build as quickly as possible and get them out to you guys, because you guys have inspired us. So thank you and enjoy. As we open here, we're just going to start off every episode now walking you through the previous builds of the castle, just to keep you guys in the loop and make sure you remember what's already been built in the castle and its huge grand scale and architecture. As you can see now, we're panning through this corridor out into the template of the stuff we're building, and currently we're basically beneath the Great Hall right now and next to all the military quarters that have yet to be built. So as you saw in the opening there, we're going to start off simply with the walls. The walls, I wanted to create an incredible design, something that just from a distance just looked absolutely incredible. And not only something I've tried to do with this Let's Build is not create stuff that only looks good at day, but also due to the shaders, everything seems to look equally as incredible at night. So as you can see, I'm just using that other wall as an example to show you, and then this is the completed version. This is the inside of the wall at the minute, so we just obviously fill this entire side with stone bricks. But now, as you can see, we're just obviously filling in with one slab of stone just to give that bumped engraving, just add a bit of shadow, something you see that's been replicated all the way along this path. And now what we're actually going to do is we're going to build those incredible engravings, and the way I really tried to make something that, like, the variations of the shadows and the colours and the textures all make it look like all the different colours. As you can see there, it's shaded on different angles. It just makes it look that little bit more grand, really. So as you see, I'm adding all these different shit. I have it like it's raised out at the top and at the bottom, and then it dips in about midway, no, about 3/4 up, as you can see up there, to which in that dipped in area is like an archer's hole, so archers could be positioned within that hole there and fire out, which just gives quite a defensive idea towards the castle, and it makes the castle look quite this formidable in the fact that it looks pretty, but it is also incredibly functional, and that it could suitably withstand a battle. So as you see, I'm just replicating it one more time alongside here, just to show you how the repetition of this effect just looks really effective. It looks even better when obviously there's more than one. So as you see now, if we pan out here, you can see how I've replicated this at least 100 times there to create this incredible piece of wall. Something I'm really proud of, and something I think it's one of my favourite bits of the castle. Now what we're just going to quickly do here is, as I said, you can now get a sort of idea towards how the archer's hole would work. So as you see, just placing all this flooring down here. I'm going to light up, obviously beneath it is incredibly dark. I'm going to ensure I light all that up. But as you can see now, I've replicated it all the way down the wall, which just creates an incredibly defensive section. That side wall, that side tower that you may have seen, is something I'm going to create in a later Let's Build, but now what we're going to focus on is this huge watchtower, which is what this episode basically is. We're going to do oh, sorry about that cut actually, my friend. I lost the footage of me building that circle, but no big deal. You can just see me burning down the trees within. But what I was saying is, we're building the watchtower and the walls in this episode. We're not going to focus on like the guard towers and stuff. They'll be another episode. So what we're seeing being built here is the watchtower. As you can see from here, I've hugely reduced that template. I've made it much smaller because I feel a watchtower needs to be small and thin, which is something now what I'm going to build it up on is a huge piece of like cliffside landscape, because I didn't want it just to be coming out of the tree line. So as you see, we've just got a small time-lapsey thing type here to create this rock face. But as you see, I create this rock face which gets bigger and bigger to one side, which I thought looked really good until I put that template in, and then I realized actually how big, even though that template looked small to me, it is actually still incredibly big. So then I extend the stone, so now you can see how high I want it to be. I'm making it much taller. I don't normally record this bit like in first person because it's just a bit of a random process placing this landscape to make it look like this, and it's not really interesting. It's very time consuming at the same time to get it to look right. So as you see, it just gradually raises, and then I finish it off with a sprinkle of grass just to give it that extra bit of colour and make it fit more in the landscape. And now as you can see, that tower is now incredibly big compared to what the base is beneath it, something of which now, as you can see, I start creating a new template and redesigning, making sure it can overlap slightly because that gives a really good effect, but not greatly. So as you see here, I'm setting a very small template down, which as you can see overlaps the side of the cliff, which when building up the brick face like that, it just looks really good, and as if the tower has been built around the landscape and not vice versa, something I tried to replicate throughout the castle. So as you can see, I've connected it up to the bridge there and extended it that high, and now we're going to use that similar idea with the single stone slabs on the wall and just replicate it exactly the same here on this bridge, just to give that engraved feel and just create a bit of like the height differences throughout the castle, just vary them up a bit and make it more interesting. So now obviously the tower needs to be much taller than it is, so I start extending it upwards, and obviously the stone slabs don't work here because of the having the bricks on top of them. It gives that, you can see that where the shadows beneath it, where it hovers over the bridge. Just when I finish building this, you'll see it hovers over the bridge here. So when I'm creating the door, I simply replace all of those ones just with the stone bricks to give it that just more, it's obviously meshed together much more better. So now just going to pan to here. At the beginning of the episode you will have seen I had a small, much smaller pillar to the side of it, because what the idea of this is basically is a rent. I've just watched The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug actually, so you might see a lot of references maybe to the Lord of the Rings in my castle build at the minute. So just as you can see what's going on behind me, it's going to explain the idea behind this tower. This tower was always going to be built, but I feel after building it and looking back that my influence was hugely given to me by Sauron's tower, because what I decided to build here was a huge tower without a roof, but side by side with it is a smaller pillar tower with a fire on top, and that fire is the kind of idea if there was a battle about to take place, perhaps there would be a system in line with either the fire will be lit, much like the beacons in the Lord of the Rings, or the fire could be put out, so other people within the castle would understand, you know, shit is going down, a war is coming, let's get out. So then that's the idea of having the spire, the small column next to it with the fire on top. So as you can see, I've built some very simple effects here, very similarly to the way I did the wall though, you know, with the engraved. If you see, there's like this watchtower, it comes out at the top much like the wall does, and also it has like windows in the side of it. You will have seen me build previously a few minutes ago. So now as you see, just adding in the double stone slabs, the stairs, and then these stone walls there. These are you see the engravings I'm building here. There we go, there they are. These are them that are very similar to the previously built wall. So now I'm obviously building this what I actually do here is I destroy it and think, oh, maybe it should go right to the top, but as you can see, just the shape does not work there. So I move it back down again and recreate that doorway and start building this small beacon to the side. I start, you know, using some sort of shapes that kind of represent a goblet, the way it goes thinner and then opens at the top. So as you can see, just building this and smoothing it all off with the effect stone stairs gives, and gives this it gives quite a nice effect, just messing with my settings here. And then the rain comes in. This is the first time it was raining in my Let's Build It in a long time, but so it's been that long that I forgot the command, so that you won't see that because I've just edited it through, but actually it took me about 5 minutes to figure out what the command was. It just was not, I was not having any of it. So as you can see, just continue creating this effect. I think just placing the fire inside, just the way it looks like some sort of, you can definitely see in this specific part the renditions back to the Lord of the Rings. But as you can see, obviously a nether brick and then the netherrack, and the fire within. Now I have a little play around with single stone slabs again, just again vary the different shades, and I do try 3 here, and I feel no 2 works much better, and overall that created a very good effect. With the slabs in hand, I thought actually vary the colours again and just use these on the very top. I should have probably engraved these in slightly by 1 like I have been throughout, but forgot to do that, so I'll do that. I'll go back to that and do it off camera. But yeah, so now, as you can see, nighttime has fallen. Like I said before, with this shaders mod, the lighting looks incredibly good. So as you see, the lights from the inside, I've placed these off camera. Basically, I've just created some windows throughout and placed in the floorboards, just to, and then, because I didn't feel you needed to see that, so just put those in. And then the lights are shining out, making it look just as good at night as it does day. And now I've added those stairs in as a bit of a few crenellations, a few different like variations in the shape and size. And I've mirrored that on every single side, it's identical. So now again, similarly to when we did the living quarters a very long time ago, a few months back now, I varied stone stairs with these stone walls, which creates this very nice column effect, which looks really good on the side of this tower. So as you see, just extending that upwards and making sure everything is as it should be. We're going to zoom out now, and you'll see that I've actually replicated it on every single side. We're back to daytime, and as you see, I've used stone stairs on each corner, and now we're just adding in the windows just to finish it off. Because if a battle did occur, there's no reason these soldiers defending could not smash the windows, which is something why I've put them in throughout. Even though this castle doesn't only need to be functional but defensive, I've also added windows because they can be broken. So now, as you see, this tower is finally finished, but now what we also have to work on is the third part of this Let's Build, the bridge. The bridge, again, very similarly to the way I've built the other two, is they're all kind of in this very similar style to one another, making sure that it all works together. So as you see, we've got the dipped in path and the walls, the stair walls up the side. So now, as you see, every other block is being added with an upside down stone stairs, again to add those crenellations and add those effects. And between it, I'm obviously adding the double stone bricks just in every one we missed, which again is replicating that exact same style we built previously with the wall, and then again copying that, just mirroring it throughout, just because it gives the, here we go, weather clear, 90,000 I wrote there. I don't know what 90,000 is, I don't know if it's 90,000 seconds or 90,000 minutes, I doubt, it's obviously seconds actually, 90,000 minutes is a long time. So now it should not rain in this kingdom for a very long time. So again, just as you saw then, I had a quick glance back down to the wall just to make sure I was getting the effect right, and then obviously replicating it all the way alongside. Obviously this exact same style will be mirrored on the other side of the bridge, although I'll do that off camera because you only need to see it once, otherwise I'll just be repeating myself over and over and over again, which become very tiresome on my part. So as you see, just putting these all the way through and creating a beautiful effect even at night time. So now what we're actually going to do is we're going to extend. Obviously it can't work like a wall though, this is a bridge, so it cannot work in the same way to the fact that this won't be extended all the way to the ground. It has to be suspended in the air, to which I came up with an idea for like a sort of pillar system to which the structural integrity of the bridge will be represented. So pardon me, as you can see, we have the double stone slabs coming down, and then finishing them off with upside down stone stairs, which creates an effect like just a floating effect. Although when I was creating this, I thought, yes, this is the way forward, and very much so it is. But as you zoom out here, you can see it doesn't look very straight. It doesn't look sound. It doesn't look as if you built this in real life, it wouldn't fall. So now I use simply stone bricks to just to start measuring out. These are my measurements, so I think I go 5 each time. Yes, I do 5 stone blocks to make these measurements, which you'll see I use in a minute. So now I start replacing that. As that one becomes 2, that becomes 4, this one becomes 4, and then the next one will become 5. Because what this allows is, like, for a slant, you see a gentle curve from the cliff edge all the way up to the bridge. And as you see, it curves to the left hand side, but I don't think it curved enough, so then I extend each one by 1 more each, and then obviously it mirrors slightly further inwards again, and just further represents this curve and makes it, and obviously replicate it on both sides, and now what you get is a very impressive looking bridge. As you can see, very dull and bland on this side, and now it's been replicated very nicely. I'm sorry actually there, we lost some, it seemed to have skipped some footage, which I'm afraid it shouldn't have done, but as you see, the style has been replicated. That was movie making Maker's problem, by the way, not the action recording. And now I'm adding in these columns between these pillars, these struts, really, just to keep its strength, and from underneath makes it look absolutely incredible. So guys, I know it's been a very short episode actually this, but we've packed in so much just to speed up the process of this Let's Build. And as you can see, we've got an incredible piece of the castle now completed, and I hope you've learned something and it's inspired you to go on and create your own builds. I'll just now run inside the tower just to show you what I had built earlier that I didn't show on camera. As you can see, each floor has been used by some simple wooden planks, and then obviously a ladder to access the top and the bottom. So guys, that is it for me. Look out for the new Let's Build hopefully in the next week or two, and I'll see you then. Thank you. Goodbye.